Work's over. And now it's time to go off the clock. Your favorite destination for the hottest sports topics, fantasy insight, betting lines, and game predictions. Sit back, kick off your shoes. You can even crack a cold one. And enjoy the show. Now, here are your hosts, Tyler, Jake, and Rob.
What is up, fellas? How we doing? It's good to be back. What's going on, T?
Welcome
Rob?
back, Jake. What's up? What's up, Rob? How y'all doing today?
What's going on?
Man, pretty good week for me. What about you, Rob?
It could be better.
Man, I just want to say this to all of our viewers, man. All three of us right now are going through some major life events. Jake's got a baby, just started a new job. Rob's in the process of moving across the nation. I'm in the process of buying a new house. I mean, we're all busy and we're still getting and setting aside time to come on here and keep grinding on Off the Clock. I just want to thank everybody out there for sticking with us too, if you're here listening. But anyways, fellas, what do y'all want to jump into first on this incredible evening? We got some playoff baseball about to start.
Yeah, we got some playoff baseball. We got some NBA action going. My Lakers got shit on last night. What's to be expected, though?
Is that a
You're a Lakers fan, Jake? I didn't know that.
I'm a LeBron fan, so I mean, I got.
I knew that.
The man needs to retire.
Let's
go buy a team in Vegas and call it a day.
I know where Jake stands at, and we don't have to carry on with this, but I just want to know your opinion, Rob, because you're a Bulls fan, right? So I think I already know your answer.
Unfortunately.
I think I already know your answer, but who is the greatest of all time basketball
Michael
player?
Jordan. I mean, come on, get the hell out of here. It's not even a freaking.
I mean,
I can just do this.
I just think that like all the shit Michael
with a little dash and a zero next to it.
Yeah, the little zero.
Yeah.
You know,
I just think if you put LeBron, if you put Michael on those Cavs teams with his best piece, Matthew Dellavedova and Kyle Korver, and J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert, if that's Michael Jordan, he's probably getting swept too.
I think if you put those Cavs teams in the Eastern Conference when Michael's going to the finals, they don't even get out of the first or second round.
That's not the debate. The debate is if you put Michael on those Cavs teams, he's not beating.
I think.
There's no way.
Well,
that's what I'm saying is the East was weak then. The team was weak around LeBron for sure.
When the LeBron's first leg with the Cavs, the whole entire East was weak. I mean, you probably had three good teams in the whole East.
Look, it depends which years.
The Delhi team, I mean, incredible. I think, incredible. You can't put that aside. But I think the most impressive thing LeBron ever did was 2007 when he beat the Pistons and got to the finals.
Yeah, that was probably the most impressive one. For me, it's a lot of people like to go back into 2016 when he finally won with Cleveland. But I think if you take Kyrie out, they don't win. I mean, Kyrie.
If you take Steph out, but you can't say if you take people out.
Well, I'm just
saying.
saying.
If you take Scottie Pippen out, Michael probably doesn't win. No, that's probably
right. I still think Michael still wins.
What
Scottie
about?
Was like.
What about that first big 3 year with the Heat losing to the Mavs in the finals?
What about you just want to talk about because you're a Dallas fan. Of course you do.
Well, I mean, I just want to know your opinion. You're talking about the accomplishments that he had with bad teams. What about the losses he had with really good teams? You know.
Yeah, I mean, every squirrel finds its nut in the Mavs. They had a solid team. I mean, they didn't have all-star, superstar Hall of Famers, but they had a complete team, and that's what sometimes gets it done. I mean, yeah, it was a choke job. There's no way around it.
I got to go to game 5 that series, by the way, in person. It was pretty badass. I was sitting at the highest seat in the whole American Airlines Center, but
hey, as long as you went, that's the only thing that matters.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a terrible performance. I think he was kind of not playing his own ball. I think he obviously went there. I feel like LeBron's time in Miami was kind of like when you go off to college. You know what I mean? It's like you're in a new environment. Things are kind of swaggy. It's like, you're the cool guy on the block. I think he was trying to impress too many people and just trying to be. He even admitted it. Like he was trying to be somebody he wasn't. Whatever
I
that
think he was just. I
It
think he was
helped him
just
grow his
exhausted
game.
of just like. Yeah, it did. I mean, I think he was just exhausted of just like not getting like that championship, and he looked at what the Heat was going to bring him. Obviously, Chris Bosh and fucking Dwayne Wade. I mean, right then and there, that's more intriguing than anything else. You could just put anybody else. I mean, then you've got Ray Allen and all those other guys. I mean, they're just enticed him even more. I mean, if I was LeBron, I would probably definitely went to Miami than
But
any
don't get
other.
me wrong, T.
Yeah.
But what you said for the Mavs, I mean, it was an ultimate choke job, of course. That was a
I
sick
mean,
performance by the
you made
Mavs.
some good points. The Mavs did have a really solid all-around team. They had Tyson Chandler there to play. I mean, and that 2011 year was really one of the last few years. You can even go a couple years after when they battled the Spurs back to back, but those were the last few years of the basketball that I loved. Like the
Yeah.
game changed right
Bully
after that
basketball
time.
with actual center and power forward and getting rebounds and doing all that
Yeah,
good stuff. That shoot a
I'm
three.
looking at this roster, Tyler.
Yeah,
He's
you
just a
had
throwback. He's
Dirk,
just a throw.
Dude, it was
Jason
a team
Terry,
of old
Shawn
men.
Marion,
Yeah.
JJ Barea.
I
Our
mean,
boy
these are all
JJ.
dudes that weren't big. Like they were, like, you know what I mean. They were just solid guys. Karan Butler,
Yeah.
Tyson Chandler,
Butler didn't
Jason.
play. But
Yeah, I liked watching Deshaun Stevenson. That dude was a bully.
Yeah.
he was
That
like, I would say today is like maybe Marcus Smart on a little bit lower level.
Yeah, for sure. That grinder, that nitty
Yeah.
gritty guy.
But
I
man, look
love
at us
JJ
jumping
Barea.
right into basketball talk. I know it's a little off schedule. It might have been my fault, but
No, that's fine. I mean,
if you guys want to continue, I know Jake, you're a fan of LeBron, now the Lakers. What do y'all think of last night's opening night? We had 2 games on the slate. Defending champs.
honestly, I didn't even look at the box score. So Jake, you want to take it away, and I'm gonna take a look at the box.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Jake talk
Yeah,
this
no,
too.
yeah. I
'Cause
watched both. I watched both of them. The Sixers looked like they played how they played last year. Bunch of James Harden ISOs or dump it down to Joel. And I just feel like that's like, I don't know. I feel like Philadelphia is right there. I really like watching Philadelphia play. But I just feel like they're still missing something. I think they need a dish Tobias Harris, but nobody wants his contract. I like Tyron Maxey. Super quick on his feet. He has a jump shot as well. But yeah, the Celtics are the real deal. When we're in Boston next weekend, me and my girl, I really wished they were playing, but they're out of town. We caught a game last year. Super sick. We sat on the court when LeBron came to town. That was an experience. But yeah, the Celtics, I feel like, are the real deal. And then the nightcap game. Dub Nation ain't going nowhere, unfortunately. That team is just insane, man. It's just like
they play at a
always got-
completely different level. I know obviously
They
they
do,
won
bro.
it last year, but even all through last season, another year of Clay hopefully being fully healthy, I think he just elevates that team to another level, having that sharpshooter like that out there. And I mean, how do you put Jordan Poole on that team? How do they get that guy from the draft?
Yeah. And it's crazy because they're all homegrown. You know what I mean? It's not like you loved. I mean, obviously when KD came,
Wiggins is like the lone exception of that team, huh?
That's true. Yeah. So it's like, I mean,
and even him. I mean, Steph elevated Wiggins' game coming
For
over
sure.
from
Yeah.
Minnesota.
Andrew
so-
Wiggins was like a bust going into freaking Golden State. Everyone was like saying,
well,
and
everyone
Andrew
wanted
Wiggins
him to be LeBron James. Everyone, like he was
Yeah.
the next LeBron. You know what I mean? And he wasn't.
he really settled in because you know what, a lot of people like you just
And he
said,
figured out a
we
jump
thought-
shot too. I think that was the big
Well,
thing for him.
I think when he got drafted going to Minnesota, like Jake said, like everyone wanted him to be the next LeBron, and he felt that pressure, and he could never elevate his game, he could never develop because it was always comparing. And now he goes to Golden State, and you have Steph, you have Clay, you have Draymond, you have all these stars already there, and you can kind of just sit in the wings and just kind of work on your stuff. And this is
It's nice when you don't have to be the guy. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Everyone
Like,
wanted him to be
there's-
the guy.
There's
He's
two,
a
maybe
nice,
three
quiet,
dudes.
18, 8, and 4 now or something.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday he went 26-4 in the steal in a block. Shot 57 from the floor, 57 from 3. And
One thing that
57%
pisses me off about LeBron though is that I hate like the shit he says. Like last night he came out and said, "We don't have a bunch of people that are snipers, or we're not a team built to shoot threes." And it's like, bro, speak for yourself. Like Your ass
Yeah.
wasn't hitting from three either. And it's just like I feel like that's just like there's already diversity or whatever, like
Diversion.
diversion in
Yeah.
the locker room with Russell Westbrook, and it's just like I don't know, man. It's just
I
I
think
feel
mean,
like he
honestly,
loves to point
Russ
the finger.
Russ, I would say, is the second best player of the team. I don't like Anthony Davis. I think he's very overrated and he's always injury prone.
when
And
he's
I'm looking at
healthy, he's
this.
maybe. I mean,
When he's healthy, he's definitely
right
better
now
than
in
Russell
Yeah,
LeBron's
Westbrook.
but
career,
like,
he might be the best player on the team, fully healthy, in my opinion.
yeah, but I mean, come on. When's the last time we all saw Anthony Davis fully healthy season?
I mean,
When they
probably his
won
best
it in
season
the
was
Yeah.
when
bubble.
they won it in the bubble in 2020. But
Was
yeah,
he
no,
that hurt
you
then?
definitely have a valid point. The dude's a walking piece of glass.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, he steps on a freaking pencil and he breaks a leg. Like that's how
did
like
did Russ come off the
Like,
bench? Was he the first guy off the bench?
No,
They
he
started
started.
him.
No,
They
he started.
started him. They
What
started
was their
him.
starting lineup?
The lineup's too small. They're starting Lonnie Walker, Russell Westbrook, Patrick Beverly, AD, and LeBron. They're too small and they can't shoot. Like
They have
Lonnie's
Anthony
Lonnie's
Davis playing. Go ahead. Sorry. I
You know
interrupted
what
you,
I would
but-
do if I were them? I would start. They don't have Danny Green anymore, right?
no, he's with Memphis.
No, they get rid of him.
Okay, I would start
I
Beverly.
mean, I don't even know who you start.
Horton Tucker in the starting lineup.
They traded him too.
Oh, they did.
Traded him.
God, I'm behind.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Their bench is Austin Reeves, Kendrick Nunn, Juan Tesquinano. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Gabriel, Matt Ryan, the basketball Matt Ryan, not the fragile one in Indianapolis.
Their team is
Matt
ass.
Christie.
Their team is
Yeah,
fucking
Matt
dog
Christie,
shit.
Scottie Pippen Jr., the one. Scottie Pippen
Like
Jr.
their
Sorry.
team is literally terrible this year. Like I saw something. One reporter said last night, like it ought to be a shame that Rob Pelinka should be ashamed of himself that he put this team together.
They need a good six, and they need to figure out. Well, obviously Patrick Beverly is the six. Like so, they need a shooting guard and a better. I think what LeBron's playing.
I think their best
four?
lineup is having Bev start though, and give you that defensive guard, and have
Yeah,
LeBron
but,
handle the
you know,
ball.
you
I mean,
have-
Bev's not a true point guard.
But then when you put Russ, because if you have LeBron playing point and Pev playing guard,
I mean,
then
Bev
where's
and
Russ
Russ
going?
are about the two opposite ends of the spectrum.
I'm just saying it just doesn't work. I don't like you have Patrick Beverly playing 25 minutes and going 3-2-2-4 in a 2. That's bench numbers. That's not supposed to be starting.
Well,
Like
I mean,
Patrick Beverly is always the better.
you
Is
didn't-
better coming off the bench.
You didn't get Beverly to score points though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but he's a better six than he is a starting one.
I mean,
Or
I'd
two.
rather have him guard the best guard on whatever team it is that I'm playing
You
every
give
night
him
to start the
25
game.
off the bench. You're not gonna. It just they gave him.
I'm not saying he
20
plays more minutes than Russell Westbrook, but I'm just saying he should start the game at point.
I don't think he should start the game. I don't think.
And having them
because
both on the floor at the same time is tough. But
Yeah, that's hard. But yeah,
I mean-
segue to my Bulls at this point. I'm looking at like my stuff from the Bulls, and it doesn't look any better for us. So it's I think tonight we're not gonna have Zach LaVine because he's hurt again. Our lineup's gonna probably consist of I don't really know anymore. Obviously, Vuk is gonna play at the 5. DeRozan's at the 3.
we got
Maybe
Mavs
Alex-
Suns tonight.
Alex Caruso. at the
I'm looking forward to
1.
that rematch. That Suns Mavs game.
I don't even know. Like, I'm trying to picture myself what the Bulls starting 5 is going to be, and I don't even know. Maybe Caruso at the 1, maybe Io at the 1, and Caruso at the 2. I don't know.
Yeah, they already said Io was going to get the start.
Yeah, Io at the 1, 2 is probably Caruso, 3 obviously DeMar, 4 is probably going to be Vuk, and then the 5 is going to be Draymond. That's my idea.
Draymond.
Draymond, Drummond. Sorry.
Oh,
I
yeah,
wish we had
Vooch,
Draymond.
yeah.
I want to
Vooch at the
know.
4.
Yeah, Vooch and then Drummond at the 5.
I want to know y'all's opinion on this. Obviously, Golden State head and shoulders above pretty much everybody in the league, especially in the West. The East, the Celtics obviously are Eastern Conference champions. They looked good last night, according to you, Jake. they're got to be in the mix. I mean, you can put Philly maybe. I know they just lost. Who else would you throw in that mix in the East? Miami,
Bucks, Milwaukee,
Milwaukee,
Brooklyn, obviously with KD. Can never count
Brooklyn.
KD
Yeah,
out.
I mean,
Atlanta.
the East is the better conference from top to bottom, don't you think?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I just don't think. I think the shift has gone east and west. I mean, with the West, I mean, Dallas, Lakers, Golden
I mean,
State,
that was gonna be my
Clippers with
next team
Kawhi.
or my next question. Is there a team that can truly challenge the Warriors at full strength?
If they're healthy, Clippers. You know, Kawhi being back, you can never count on Kawhi. Minnesota's pretty fucking tough with, what's his name?
Edwards, Gobert, and Towns. I don't know how you
Yeah.
play those two bigs together though.
Well, you play Towns at the 5 and Gobert at the 4, and then that's fucking two towers right there, and you still got
I
fucking
think
Anthony.
I think Memphis can.
You think
Yeah,
Memphis
Memphis.
can at full strength? I mean,
Yeah,
that was probably Golden State's toughest series last year.
for sure. And
And then what's his
I
name got
hated that
suspended.
but I hated that jaw got hurt.
Yeah,
you
I mean,
got
I
hit.
think Minnesota's going to be probably the 4 seed this year coming out. I like their team. Like
Out of
going in.
where?
The West.
The West? Man, I don't know about
I
that.
mean, I mean, come on. Outside of Dallas,
Watch the
Golden
Pelicans
State,
be sneaky
and
good this year
Denver,
if Zion's
and the
healthy.
Clippers. I mean, look at Minnesota's roster. They have a pretty fucking solid roster with 6, just the front 6. Let's always look at it like the first 6 players.
I would put the Suns over Memphis or Minnesota.
Obviously.
I would put the Grizzlies over them. So Memphis, Phoenix, Clippers,
Dallas.
Nuggets, Mavs. So I would put the Mavs, the Nuggets, the Clippers, the Grizzlies, and the Suns all up. So I could see Minnesota. I mean, no, that's fair enough, Rob. You have them at the 4. I'd probably have
4 or
I'd probably
5 around there.
I'd
Like,
probably have the 6.
Yeah, I mean, around 4 to 6 is always start fighting for like a game or two. So I mean, it could be around that. The problem is like I don't know who's 7 or 8 coming out of there. Like the Trailblazers maybe make a run. Trying to get
The Pelicans.
Lillard.
What about the Pelicans?
That's what I was saying. Yeah, healthy Zion. I mean, I don't think
But he's
anybody
never
in the
healthy.
league could guard him at full strength. It's a
but he's
tough
never
guard.
healthy. The man plays more
and
Xbox.
BI. I love that combo.
I love fucking Brandon Ingram, but like I just don't see Zion healthy. Like I just don't see him finishing the year.
Who's the
100%
biggest
healthy.
threat? You think Memphis is the biggest threat to Golden State if there was a team?
I think the Clippers.
The Clippers. I mean, Kawhi on that team. If
Finally,
Kawhi
Kawhi's
stays
back.
healthy with PG, like that's actually a pretty freaking dangerous duo between those two. Actually, I think they're even better. And I think they're even better than Brooklyn. If you think about the combo between both of them, I think they fit better.
I know Dallas. I mean, maybe I'm being a little biased, and I know they don't have like a number 2 like Paul George, but I think top to bottom, I think Dallas's roster is better than Clippers. So.
You think Dallas's roster is better than the Clippers?
No way.
Yeah, dude,
come on.
for sure.
You're being a little biased. You take Luka out of freaking Dallas. Who's good?
No, look at this team, Tyler. This is bad.
Yeah, the Mavs?
Okay, let's go through it really quick. Davis Bertans, he's dog shit.
He's bottom of the bench player.
Reggie Bullock is the ultimate hit or miss guy. He'll get you 15 or nothing.
Tim Hardaway is
okay. Campazzo. I don't even know who Campazzo is. Spencer Dinwiddie is solid. Tyler Dorsey, who's that? Dorian Finney-Smith, we know what you're going to get from him.
He's a good player, man.
Maxi Kleber pisses me off. I hate, he's like, I don't know. I wish he'd get down and bang more, man. I was watching him in the playoffs last year, and that dude just loves fucking pulling from half court. I would love to see him at
he's a stretch 4 for sure, but when they played the Clippers, he was the primary defender on Kawhi, and he actually did fairly well.
I would love to see him like the free throw line elbow, pulling up mid-range jump shots instead of fucking pulling from 30 feet.
I'm just saying one thing. I'll just say one thing. You take Luka out of Dallas, are they even
Christian Wood now? Christian Wood?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
you take Kawhi.
JaVale McGee at the 5.
They're still pretty good.
Okay,
come on. He wasn't even. Listen, Golden State doesn't even have a center. He wasn't even good enough to play center for Golden State.
Well, he was with Phoenix last year.
I think you put Christian Wood at the 5, though, T, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you
when
put
it
Christian
when
Wood.
it when it comes down to 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter, your lineup's gonna be Bullock, Luca, Finney Smith,
Luca, yeah,
Kleber, and
Tim,
Wood.
Tim, right?
Okay,
Tim or
if you
Kleber,
come
depending on who
but
you're
if you
playing, I
come
think.
but if you come down to the last 6 minutes with the Clippers, you have John Wall, PG, Kawhi, Marcus Morris Sr., and I don't know whoever you want to put at the 5. Moses Brown, if you want to put
He
at the
I
5.
mean,
sucks.
who's Moses Brown and who's
Or
guarding the
or
paint?
Moses Brown, he was out of I think UCLA. He played with the Thunder last year. He's a young guy. He's an upcoming
or
guy,
Zubac
but
or Zubac.
Zubac
Zubac.
for
yeah,
sure.
good
Yeah.
Yeah,
old
Zubac is
Zubac.
there. So who would you rather have? The Dallas starting 5
Hey,
with
what
6
about my
minutes
boy
left, or the
Nicholas
Clippers?
Batum? That dude has a cannon on him.
Yeah.
I think I'd
Yeah.
rather have the Mavs personally.
Okay. I think it's a little biased.
Luka's the best player on the court.
Hey, are they just
Yeah.
going to push aside Reggie Jackson for John Wall?
Yeah, and I forgot Reggie Jackson was on that team. Come on.
I mean, Reggie Jackson can't guard.
Yeah, but you have Kawhi to do that.
Paul George
Kawhi
is
was
a
like
above average defender. Kawhi is a great defender. Marcus Morris is an above average defender.
Kawhi would guard
is
Luka, right?
That team's kind of old when you like Nicholas Batum. He's 33. Robert Covington's 31. PG's 32. Jackson's 32. Kawhi's 31. I mean, I guess 31's not old.
If Kawhi's guarding Luka for 6 minutes straight, his legs are gonna be a little toasted.
No, come on. I mean, Kawhi is a 2-time player or defensive player of the year. How many times has he been in an all defensive team? He was there last year. I mean, he's there. He's not like he's a bum of defense. Like
I don't know. It's a lot to look forward to this year. That's for sure.
Yeah. All right. Let's segue.
What do y'all?
back.
What? I was curious about NFL real quick since I missed last week's show. I kind of want to hear what everyone's like. It's hard for me for the Texans because they're just so fucking bad. But maybe one or two pieces that you think from all of our favorite teams are just absolutely missing. And if we were maybe the
GM mode activated.
GM mode.
Yeah, if you were playing Madden and you were playing like the GM mode and you were creating a team, you had your whole roster already, but you could add one player.
Let me ask you something. I want this to be realistic, though, right?
Realistic.
I mean, I don't know what to say for the Texans, man. Like,
well, obviously you're not in win now mode. So what would you do?
What would you do? Yeah,
I would go get a different quarterback. I'd go get a different quarterback.
Would you
trade
go
for
get
one?
a different quarterback in the league now, or are you going to get a different quarterback in the draft?
I think the Texans are. I think the
And
Texans are in a weird mode right now. We know we suck, but it's like I think we're still trying to be competitive. You know what I mean? Like we're like we want to win, but then we also know we're fucking terrible. You know what I mean? So it's like I think the Texans aren't trying to accept that we're bad.
Well, if you were Nick Caseria, what would you be wanting to do though? Would you want to be competitive, or would you want to build for the future?
I would want to be competitive. I think I'll speak for us Texans fans. I'll always search stuff on Twitter and Facebook and stuff about the Texans and just seeing what other Texans fans say. A lot of the things that I see on social media, I agree with, and it's pretty much all one thing. We were bad for so long. We got Deshaun Watson, and we thought we were here. Like we thought that year we were playing the Chiefs, we're up like I think 17-0 in the divisional round. We thought I remember watching that game. We thought we were fucking here. And then it's like all that breaks down, and then now we're like rebuilding again. It's just like I think we had so much hope in Deshaun, and now they're just trying to like shove Davis Mills down our throat. And it's like we know he's not him. Like that, Davis Mills is not him. So it's like.
So you said that you want to go get a quarterback that's in the league. So who you getting and what you giving up for him?
And what do you? How much do you think this is going to change? Like. Your record.
It depends on the quarterback.
Season, yeah, right? I mean, I guess it'd be easy to say, yeah, let's just wait on CJ Stroud or Bryce Young or some guys like that. But it's like that's probably going to take a couple years to develop, unless he does. I mean, most quarterbacks, unless you're Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, which even Josh Allen I think took a year or two. It's going to take time. I mean, he was
behind Alex Smith for 2 years at least.
No, I'm saying like if you come in and like it takes you time to develop. I feel like once Patrick Mahomes got in, it was go time. But I mean, if I thought about it, the quarterbacks that might be available around the league, I don't. You're right. Maybe there isn't one that. I mean, I'm trying to I could run through all the teams. I mean,
think this is GM mode. So think who quarterbacks.
I know. I'm thinking of quarterbacks that teams would actually maybe move on from that would be available. I can go through the AFC really quick. Bills no, Jets no, Dolphins no, Patriots no. None of those guys there would trade their quarterback. Chiefs wouldn't, Chargers wouldn't, Broncos wouldn't, Raiders wouldn't. Ravens would.
Wait. I think one of those teams that you just mentioned, highly unlikely, but I don't know if wouldn't is the right word.
Raiders?
Starts with an R though.
I mean, I'm looking.
They haven't re-signed Lamar Jackson yet. Maybe internally they don't think that he can win them or be like a elite quarterback because he can't throw the ball at a high level.
So so if we're gonna go there, then I think we give.
Like, would you give up your 2 first-round picks that you have and next year's first-round pick or the following year's first-round pick and like a second-round pick?
3 first.
I mean, look at what the Browns just gave you for Deshaun.
I would.
And resign him, and you'd have to resign him to max contract.
I mean, you would have to get that, like, for sure he's resigning with you guys before you would do that trade, obviously, because.
Well, of course, yeah. Yeah, Tyler, I would do that. I would do 3 first and a second.
Like, what if the Ravens lose another game or two and they're sitting at like 3-5 or something?
Kind of flip what we got. I mean, we already got Derek Stingley and Damian Pierce. So essentially, I don't know.
You don't touch those 2 guys.
No. I'm trying to think of all the picks that we got from the Browns, but kind of essentially flip Deshaun for Lamar. I'd for sure do that.
I think you probably got to give a little bit more than what you got back, but I mean,
maybe like throwing like Brandon Cooks in it or something like that. And
we need a weapon for him.
Well, I mean, sometimes you
got
got
no
to
They want picks. They'd want picks because they'd be entering rebuild mode immediately. They wouldn't want Brandon Cooks, especially with Bateman already in place as the number 1 guy.
So the Texans picks are, you have obviously the Browns pick this coming year, your first round. You have 1 second round this year. The third round, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 third round picks. And you obviously have your 4th and your 5th. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 6 round picks. And then you have like 3 7th. So that's your picks.
Whatever you just said, Rob. Yeah. Whatever.
You have a lot.
Yeah. No, I would definitely be willing to do that. Essentially, flip the picks that I got for Deshaun for Lamar. I would 100% do that if I was.
You got to add 1 or 2 more though, I think. But
well, he also next year has in 2024 the Browns' first round pick and their.
I just don't see the Ravens not wanting to resign him though. It's like, how do you let a guy like that walk? I don't know.
Why haven't they done it though yet?
Would you?
Well, they're skeptical of something. You know what I mean?
I mean, exactly.
Well, they offered them a crazy, ridiculous contract before the season started,
and that's what they think he's worth. They don't think he's worth the highest, or I'm not sure. I can't remember what that number is, but
they would pay him like guaranteed, like ridiculous guaranteed money.
If you were Stephen Jones, what would you do, Tyler?
Stop kissing my father.
if I was Jerry Jones, because he's the GM.
Let's be real.
I'd probably start talking about glory holes first, and then I would probably
shoving your tongue down women's throats. Think that's what he did, or they said he did.
I saw that. We'll see what that's all about. There's always something about that guy. If I was Jerry Jones, what I would do, I'm not saying I would pull the trigger on it, but I'd call Odell Beckham Jr. just to see how he's doing. I would just call. I mean, that's not going to hurt anybody. If you can get him for like a 1-year, $6-7 million deal, maybe that affects nothing next year. I might think about it if he's fully ready to go.
Would you call Carolina on DJ Moore?
What do you think it would take to get DJ Moore? Would it take a first-round pick?
I think that's what they said. They'd want a first.
No, I wouldn't do that. You drafted super well in the first round the past, I don't know how many years, but.
Would you give them 2 seconds?
I mean, if the
I'll give them a second and a 5th. That's what I'd give up for him.
If the Panthers think they're gonna get a first round
But the thing
pick
is,
for
you
DJ
gotta
Moore, I don't think that's gonna happen.
you gotta retain his contract, and his contract is of a guy who's a top 10, 15 receiver right now.
Hold on, let me pull up his contract.
Is DJ Moore a top 10 or 15 receiver?
So DJ Moore's contract,
It's a little dark in here.
It's a 3-year, $60 million extension.
61.
So.
You just got rid of Cooper for paying him $20 million a year. Are you okay with paying DJ Moore $20 million a year?
His dead cap hit is freaking ridiculous. For this year, he's 41. Next year is 35. So right then and there, for at least 2 years, he's dead capping you for at least $80 million.
I think with that said, I'd probably, if it was for a 2, I would think about it. But you just remember, you just re-signed Michael Gallup coming off the ACL to a pretty friendly contract.
You got Noah Brown, who's been doing pretty good.
You got CeeDee Lamb coming up. I think this upcoming offseason is when you can actually know, this is his 3rd year now. I think it's after his 4th, going into his 5th year option. You can extend him on his 4th year. So you got to pay him, and you got to pay Trayvon Diggs coming up, and then Micah Parsons after that. Do you want DJ Moore's contract lingering during that time? And
Micah Parsons is getting freaking Eric Donald money. That's what he's doing. Like the way that man's playing, he's getting Eric Donald money.
He's going to be the highest paid defender when it's said and done.
Yeah, when it's all said and done.
I'm cool with that. I think he's the best defender.
I mean, I think he's winning Defense Player of the Year. I think he beats Aaron Donald.
He's a little nicked up right now, though. He's dealing with that groin.
You know what I would like to see? I would like to see the Cowboys call the Texans on Brandon Cooks. I think that would be sick.
Okay, let's get into a little bit more. I mean, DJ Moore, a little far-fetched for me, in my opinion. I think Brandon Cooks for like a 4th round pick, maybe a little bit more realistic.
Don't be disrespectful.
I mean,
I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not. Here's the thing, though, man. I'm the same way, and I know the Cowboys. And this goes for almost every team other than probably the Rams. The value on draft picks is at the absolute highest it's ever been because of the way that the league's structured with the salary cap. If you're able to draft a guy and have enough darts to throw at a dartboard, you're going to at least hit 1 or 2 of them for a cheap 4-year deal. I mean, that's what the best teams are doing right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
would you be willing to pay? I didn't realize Brandon Cooks is on a 2-year, about $40 million deal too. So he's another $20 million guy.
See,
but what's his dead cap?
Give up a 4th round pick compared to a 2nd round pick for DJ Moore, I'd probably be more. I guess
NFL trades confuse me. I feel like in the NBA, like you trade big stars, like for big stars, but like the NFL, like the shit they do, it's like
it's because of the salary cap,
dude. It's too confusing. It's
those
like
teams in the NBA move to their luxury tax.
It's like you have to worry about dead cap and like all these things. It's just like it's so weird.
Here's what I would do if I'm the Cowboys, though. This is something that y'all probably never thought about. I think, with Dak coming back, you got Gallup, you got Lamb, you got Noah Brown as your 3rd option, you got a 3rd round pick who has barely played yet in Jalen Tolbert, and you got Kevontae Turpin who's electric with the ball in his hands on kickoff coverage. Maybe you get him a little bit more offensive snaps, but I think the thing that could potentially hold them back, if the offense is playing at a good level, they're going to be a heavier defensive side of the team. It's just, you already see it now. What's the biggest problem with their defense? It's probably their defensive tackle group. They got Quentin Bohanna, 2nd year, 6th round pick, who's made a huge jump. He's starting for us at the 1 technique. He's a solid NFL player, but what I would do is I'd call the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'd offer a 4th round pick for Cam Hayward, their defensive lineman. He's been there many, many years. Fans in Pittsburgh would cry, but Pittsburgh is not going anywhere this year. They're figuring out their quarterback situation. I know they just beat the Bucks, whatever. I think that's just a fluke game. They're not going anywhere.
That's more of a Bucks defense than it is.
He's like at the top of the totem pole in terms of Steeler fans' hearts. And that guy can play the run. He can bull rush the passer. I think that would give you a veteran presence on the inside of the defensive line to shore up your run defense and give you another leader on that team. And it's not going to cost you as much as a young player because this guy's old. He's 33, 34 years old. And that's old in the NFL.
So my question would be to you then: wouldn't you want to try to call the Colts for DeForest Buckner?
They're not going to trade him though, in my opinion, because he's still fairly. He's what, 28 years old, and he's on a
But
massive.
still, I mean,
He's on a real big contract too. And the Colts are trying to win right now.
Well,
Yeah.
I still think they're the best team
I mean-
in the division.
well, I mean, you might want to tell the Colts that if they're trying to win because they're not winning.
That was a nice comeback win from last week.
Yeah, well,
I mean, I think the winner of this upcoming game for them between the Titans and the Colts is gonna really have a command in the division. The Texans, unfortunately, they are who they are. The Jaguars, even though they gave a little bit glimmer of hope, they're still, another year.
I still
away.
think the Jaguars. I still think the Jags.
They have no offensive weapons out wide. They have two good backs, but they have no weapons for. I mean, Christian
need a
Kirk.
tall
But
receiver.
when Christian Kirk's your best receiver on the team, I hate to say it,
There's
your
something
receiving
wrong.
core is not that good.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Talk about the fall off from that guy. That dude is a top 6 receiver first like 3-4 weeks. That dude is
In fantasy,
in fantasy.
I mean, he scored like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I think touchdown inflation's real in fantasy football, but
Yeah,
that's what I would do if I was a Cowboys. A little bit more outside the box. I don't think Carolina would give up Derek Brown. Defensive and offensive linemen, man, they're so hard to come by in the league.
What about Burns for the Panthers, Tigre?
Man, I think he's an awesome player. I know that's probably the guy on their team that could be expendable that's going to cost you the most. He's an edge rusher. He's going to cost you a first-round pick. And the only thing is, though, if you got him, that would free up Micah Parsons to go play linebacker most of the
his natural position.
That would be sick.
And
you have Burns on the edge and Micah in his true technique or his true position.
And you can still rush Parsons, in third down, you put him out wide again and move D-Law inside. You got Burns on the other side and Odighizuwa.
I loved Chris Collinsworth's opinion about Micah Parsons. It was like you could play him anywhere in the defense. You could play him safety. You could play him a corner.
And did you guys hear what he said about Lane Johnson? You guys see that? That guy's fucking something. But all right, enough about my Cowboys because I know we'll probably talk about them a little bit more later. But Rob, what would you do? I forgot.
Sell the whole team.
GM
sell the whole team.
But what would you do?
Brian Gudenhurst. If I was Brian Gudenhurst, which is a weird last name, I would break the tradition of not trading anybody at the deadline and actually go trade somebody. Obviously, I'm making a phone call, like you said.
You would trade for somebody or trade somebody away?
I would. So I have 2 takes. So one, I would make a phone call to Odell. Obviously, you got to make that phone call. See how that knee's doing. You have to, because it's probably the cheapest option. It's not going to cost you as much as what a draft pick could. Then I'm starting to call. Obviously, I'm going to call Carolina with DJ Moore. I'm trying to see if they're willing to get like maybe a 2 or 3, or even a player in return. We do have a pretty talented, what's it called? I forget the guy's name because it's like Yoish. Like, I don't know how to say his last name. He's a left tackle behind David Bakhtiari. He's young. We could probably offer him up for somebody. Teams do need good left tackles.
I saw Bakhtiari played a lot more this past week.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously the starting left tackle. They paid him all that money, so it just makes sense. So I would see if they're willing to offer up DJ Moore. I don't think we should even go get him because, I mean, we need a tall guy that has the ability to do catches down the field, go up for catch and stuff. So I'm going to swing to what you just said. I'm going to go to Pittsburgh, and I'm going to call him not for Chase. I'm going to call them for Deontay Johnson. And I'm going to be like, what would it take for us to take him from? Do you need a left tackle to guard your freshly rookie quarterback? Would you want to do that trade? I would say maybe offer that left tackle and maybe a 3rd round pick for Deontay. I think that's more than fair. At least you get your big wide receiver, make Aaron happy. If nothing happens and we're sitting at, when's the trade deadline? What, in 2 weeks, right?
It's in late November, I think.
Oh, okay. If the Packers lose
or mid
Say the
November.
next 4 games. All right,
Okay,
the next
I'm
4
glad. I'm glad you're mentioning this, Rob, because I was gonna give you a little
eh,
hypothetical.
if the
I think I know
Packers
where you're going now.
lose the
If they're
next
3-6 or something,
so if we lose, say, the next 4 games coming up, if we lose 3 out of the 4, all right, I'm now going to be calling around teams, maybe Miami particularly. Do you want Aaron Rodgers
what about the Giants?
or the Giants too? I'm like, what?
What about
I
the
want.
Colts?
I mean, I don't know about the Colts draft picks because I think didn't they trade for Matt Ryan? I don't think they could give back what what A-Rod would be worth. That's why I said Miami mostly. Like, I'll take Tua at this point over
What
Jordan Love.
about
But
Seattle? If they start winning a couple more games,
yeah, I mean, they got all those Denver picks. I would call Seattle too. I would call a team that needs a quarterback, and teams need quarterbacks, especially if you have a guy named Aaron Rodgers.
the
I think
Titans.
you
There's a
start
lot of
calling around. He signed a very contract friendly. I know it's like 50 million, but it's still the dead cap hits on those are very low after this year. So he's not going to hit the team for a lot of money. Um, but I think you really start looking at the long term plan for the Packers, and if you just lost 3 games in the next 4 weeks, I would just start calling around, and be like, hey, it's time to let go, and it's time to move on and start thinking about let me get a few first rounds, maybe in the twos, and start really developing this team because we do got a good defense. It's just that offense needs
would you
help,
take?
and
Would you take a one? Just one, a 2 for next year, and then another 2 and a player.
for Aaron,
Give me give me a team. Give me a
what's
team.
the
Because I want to think of the player.
um? Well, let's start. Let's go. Let's go Miami. So
Okay.
you're saying a 1, a 2, and a player
Yeah.
is
Okay. So you get a 1, a 2, and then a 2 for the following year, and
and a player.
then for Miami, I'm trying to think of somebody on that team. Their second year safety, Javon Holland.
Yeah, but I wouldn't because we already have 2 pretty good safeties, Amos and Savage. So it would be a pointless thing for us to get another safety unless we're getting rid of one of them.
Holland could probably play cornerback too. That's what he was in college at Oregon, but teams thought
Yeah,
he'd be better as a safety.
yeah. I
Okay,
mean, no,
what
that's
about
a huge risk.
I mean, here's
So
the only problem
so
I guess
this
with
is
my
so
thing.
I like the
A team
Seattle
trying to
pick.
win
All
is
right.
not going to trade away a good piece, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But if I like the Seattle piece because I look at what the Texans got for Deshaun, and I'm like, if
You're
I'm
not
Green
going to
Bay
get
and
the
I'm
same.
willing,
You're not going to get the same package
I
for
want
him.
something close to it. Like I'm obviously I'm not gonna get Deshaun's
Didn't he
28.
say he's going to retire next year?
Yeah, that's why you're.
No,
It's a
I
1-2 year
I
rental max.
he's been saying he's been trying to retire for the next like 5 years. Like, come on, like the guy has 50 million on the books. You think he's gonna pass that up just to retire? No, like
It's a
he's
win.
gonna
It's a
want to
win
keep.
now trade for whatever team that is.
So I would think Seattle would probably be the best fit. I want the Seattle's first pick. I want the Broncos' first pick that they sent to them, and then maybe a 2 and a 3.
And Noah
You know,
Fant.
sure, I'll take Noah Fant and Noah Fant. Like I would do that. I would do 2 first, a second, and then
Seattle would then have A-Rod with Kenneth Walker, DK, Lockett.
Tyler Lockett.
Dolly Lockett has a relatively decent defense with
Here's
Pete
the thing,
Carroll.
though. That team's offensive line is booty cheeks. Aaron would probably veto it because he wouldn't get to finish the year. But
I mean, that and probably you're going to the NFC North to the NFC South. I mean, not the South, the West.
West.
And I don't think you want to be in that division with Aaron Donald.
well,
But
I mean,
I mean, if you're the Packers, I mean, you would try to get what you can with Aaron if you lose the next 3 games or 3 out of the 4. It's kind of dumb.
all right. Well, GM mode has now been deactivated. I want to go through 2 more quick things. One, let's tell everybody our updated Power 5. Give a Thursday night football prediction, and then I know we already kind of talked about baseball in our predictions, but give a prediction for the last 4 teams. But Jake, you want to start us off on this Power Five?
Yeah, I can do that, bro. Got the Eagles at 1. Got the Bills at 2. Eagles at 1. Bills at 2. Got the Chiefs at 3. I got probably the Vikings at 4. Who do I put at 5?
Tough. You had the
Five's
Ravens
the hard.
last week.
4 and the 5 is hard. Like
5, I would probably. That's tough, man. 5, I'd probably put the Bengals. I think the Bengals are on the call up. I did. The Ravens are out. The Bucks are out. I'm just not ready to put the Jets in. I just can't do it. I can't put the Giants in. I'm just waiting for that team to fall apart. I can't put the Cowboys in. So I'd
Why
probably
not?
oh, we all used to. He's asking why you're not putting the Cowboys in.
I mean, I was very intoxicated talking shit to you the other day about the Cowboys, so I probably gave my reasons then, but I don't remember.
Let me ask you one question because I know we're on a time crunch here. You think this past weekend's game was more about the Eagles being a legit team or more about the Cowboys not being very good? Because what you told me
Oh,
was the
yeah,
Cowboys
I
weren't
think you
very
could
good.
go either way. I think you could say the Eagles are a really good team. Then you can also say that the Eagles prohibited the Cowboys from being who they are because they're the Eagles. So I think you could take that either way. I think the Eagles defense 100% had everything to do with the Cowboys not being who they were. But I would like to have this conversation maybe in another week. I really want to see
All
what
right, let's
Dak's
leave
gonna.
this till Sunday,
Yeah.
or we can talk
Or
briefly
next week.
Sunday, but we'll have the big
I,
conversation next week.
yeah.
Because
So,
Mr. Rush threw 3 picks and gave the Eagles the ball inside their own half.
But who caused those picks is what I'm saying. The Eagles defense, they're legit. So it's like, I don't know, man.
let's kind of segue because we're kind of wrapping up on this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I
I'm
know.
just
I
gonna do
know.
my
For our
top
audience,
5.
Jake has to go here in like a minute. So if you need to head out, Jake, we can finish this off.
No,
I
let's
know
just wrap this up.
Okay.
Let's each give our Power Five and let's give our prediction for Thursday Night Football.
Okay.
Okay, so
We'll skip out
I
on baseball. It's
okay.
fine.
So I'm
Go
gonna go from
Stros.
the bottom up. I'm having trouble with my 5. Like honestly, I don't know. I don't know if I want to put the Bengals on there. I don't know if I want to do the Vikings, the Giants. So I'm gonna go number 5, the Cowboys. They showed enough with a backup quarterback competing against the Eagles. I still have, if Cooper Rush doesn't throw that pick in the fourth quarter, he
Jalen
outplayed
Hurts, 180 something total
Jalen
yards
Hurts.
of offense. That's
Yeah,
it.
he's outplayed Jalen Hurts in the second half.
40
and
carries,
that's the backup.
3.6 yards per carry for the Eagles.
So the Cowboys are at 5. 4 is the Minnesota Vikings. It hurts me to say that. I do not like Kirk Cousins. I do think he's going to blow it up at the end of the year, but I'll put him at 4 just because Justin Jefferson.
Those guys have had an easy schedule too, but they're in my
They had a
top 5
pretty
last
easy
week
schedule.
at 5.
So I'll put him 4. 3 is the Chiefs. That was a great game. I mean, Josh Allen just had some Josh Allen magic in my mind. 2 is the Eagles. If I had
Y'all
to
are
pick between
disrespectful, man. Y'all still ain't doing it, man.
if I had to pick between Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, I'm picking Josh Allen every single day. Hence why I have the Bills at number 1. Josh Allen throws 55 passes against the Chiefs and wins. The throws he was doing was ridiculous, and he doesn't need a run game to do it. He could throw the ball 50 times. I know I'm going to win that game. If Jalen Hurts is throwing the ball 50 times, I don't know if I'm winning. So that's why the Bills are still number 1 for me.
All right, let me knock this out because my top 3 are the same as Rob. Bills 1, Eagles 2, Chiefs 3. Eagles and Chiefs swap from last week for me. My number 4 team, Minnesota, they're moving up from 5 to 4. And then my number 5 team, I'm not going to say this with a whole lot of confidence, but they've shown me enough, and they have a legit quarterback. And they've won 2 back-to-back close games against mediocre teams, but the LA Chargers, they're 4-2. They got Justin Herbert. They're in a tough division. They got to play Kansas City still twice, I believe.
They were in my top fives last week, so
I think they're going to edge out the Cowboys for me right now, just because their quarterback is healthy. Dak, yes, he's apparently coming back, but he hasn't shown
was
anything
clear
yet.
today.
We'll see. We'll see
was
what
clear
happens.
today.
I think the Cowboys should not be written off, and it's still October 19th. It doesn't matter who's in the Power 5 right now. We'll see at the end of the season. But anyways, that's my Power 5. Jake, Thursday night pick. By the way, I want to mention our Sunday night football records. I'm 3-3 now. I lost. Jake, you won last week. You're 3-3. Rob, you lost. We both lost, unfortunately. You're 2-4.
The recipe to have a good Sunday night football record is to bet against the Cowboys. 2 of my wins have come against the Cowboys, the Bucks, and Sunday night. So I want some more Cowboys on Sunday night football.
I keep betting with the Cowboys. I got to stop doing that.
I'm gonna ride until I die, baby.
I got a Cardinals minus 2.
Yeah, I got the Cardinals. I don't think the Saints are beating the Cardinals.
No Michael Thomas. No Jarvis Landry. I don't want Andy Dalton on Thursday.
I don't think Lattimore is even playing.
There's a new Call of Duty coming out, so Kyler's gonna.
And he gets his favorite back, D-Hop. It's like one of the worst recipes.
Here's my thing. I'm gonna go ahead and pick the Cardinals with you guys, but I don't think the Cardinals are any good. They just lost in Seattle, and they scored 9 points against that atrocious defense. Yeah. Hollywood Brown's out. Yes, D-Hop's back, but how good a shape is he in? Because I don't think you can practice when you're
We'll see what Robbie does.
Robbie, like Rob mentioned, Robbie and Rob, I don't think Anderson's going to play a whole lot. I think if anything, though, and I'm going to throw a little fantasy football action out there right now. I know we normally talk about this on Sunday. I think Rondale Moore might be a start of the week.
Rondale Moore and Zach Ertz are probably starts of the week.
I think you're starting Zach Ertz every week, though.
Yeah.
I know people that have like Zach Ertz as their secondary tight end. I'm like, why?
I like that Rondale Moore, T.
I think, man, he might only have like 80 yards, but look for him to have like 8 or 9 catches or something, man.
Yeah.
I mean, if he goes six for 80 and a tutty, that's 20 points.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
But, all right, fellas, I'm gonna go turn the Astros game on. Rob, your American League pick is out of it. My National League pick's out. Jake's National League pick's out. So we're rooting for the American League. You're going for San Diego.
I'm going for San Diego, which is
Rob. You got the Stros tonight?
I got the Yankees tonight.
I know it started already. I'm gonna go turn it on. But anyways, fellas, as always, thanks for joining. To all of our viewers out there.
If you like the video, like us, subscribe to us, show us some love. We're slowly trying to grow the channel. It takes time, man. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I just want more viewers, but I understand it takes time. So, for the more likes, the more subscriptions, the more interactions, we genuinely appreciate everything. So,
join the Discord too, fellas. Join the Discord, ladies. If you're in here listening, join the Discord. We'd love to hear what you got to say. That's where you can communicate with us. Go follow us on our socials. I know we got some approval on a few things. We're about to start dishing out some more content on our socials. We've just all been so damn busy. And hopefully here, another month or two, things will kind of start slowing down for a little bit. And then I know, Jake, when's Haley due?
She's doing January, so we got plenty of time.
We got time.
Even when the baby comes. Even when the baby comes, I'm always locked into sports. I'll just have a little +1 sitting next to me.
There you go. That's awesome, man. Little buddy.
Yep. So
you pick out a name yet?
Oh yeah. Nah, man, we got a couple in the works, but nothing's finalized yet. But
everybody's gonna want to hear whenever you guys release that precious info. So, but anyways, fellas. Sir. I'm gonna let the credits roll. See y'all.
All right. See ya.
Let's do it. See you Sunday.
Thanks for tuning in to the Off the Clock Show. If you enjoyed what you heard, go ahead and hit that like button. If you really want to show your support, please consider subscribing. You can also follow us at our social media sites listed in the description. We will talk to you next time. Off the Clock.